Look, all I'm saying is we should have been undefeated in 95. You take 2 interference calls out of the picture, and we had it, plain and simple.
Now, if I do recall, there's a little muff snap that caused a turnover in that game against Dieter, Paul Wayne. Now, don't you try to put that loss all on the D, all right? You're just as responsible for that L as we were, big boy.
You know, your cornbread ain't done in the middle there, Dwayne. Gonzalez was calling audibles all over the place that night. Nobody could keep the snap count straight.
Coach Hauser's madder than a wet hen when you got to the sideline, boy. You'd have thought he'd murdered his whole family, dog and all.
If there's anything that needed a good killing, it was his damn dog. You remember he had that thing chase us during wind sprints after a game once?
Ziggy. Yeah, damn thing tried to hump me while we were doing up downs.
You boys just, wake up every day and think, what's the best way to give old Bruce a heart attack?
What are you talking about, Bruce?
Did you really think I wasn't going to find out about your little after party at McMurray Mufflers after the game?
What do you want us to do? It was Spirits Week. I'm starting to think you just hate after parties, Bruce.
It was Spirit Week, Paul Wayne, Spirit Week. The Booster Club isn't sponsoring an entire week dedicated to booze, you moron.
Hey, you could have fooled me. There were plenty Booster Club members partaking in Spirits Week.
He's right there, Bruce. I saw old Marty Dumpus polish off a whole bottle of Grand Marnier behind the concession stand that night.
That's besides the point. You can't trash the office, and you sure as hell can't lead a mob to a sponsor's building and graffiti the place because his son just happened to miss a tackle.
I don't know what you're talking about.
There are numerous reports of you vandalizing McMurray Mufflers. Sheriff Dinkin is making inquiries, and I've got 100 phone calls and messages on my phone. One of which is Paul calling to tell me how proud of himself he was.
I'm sorry, I'd never used spray paint before. It was new to me.
And you did a pretty fair job, big dude.
And I thank you kindly for that.
2 weeks ago, I specifically recall both of you talking to Sheriff Dinkin, speaking out against mob mentality, then you go pull this malarkey like a couple of corn cobs. You're out there painting the whole town like you're buttering corn all over Paultom's face, all over our town's beautiful, unblemished face.
Well, it does sound bad when you put it that way.
Hey, have you ever put Old Bay seasoning on corn?
Listen, I'm glad Brett isn't here yet to hear this.
Who?
The kid. Look, there was an issue with the Dude You're Fine ad from last week. His mom called and ripped me a new one. That, my friends, was not a fun call.
How is Crystal?
Pissed!
Oh.
Did she ask about me?
She asked about whose nuts she needed to kick. I just need you guys to be nice to the kid, okay? The last thing we can afford is to find another intern, and I'll be dadgummed if we are going to start paying somebody to fill that position.
All right, you got it, Bruce. You want nice, I'll be nice.
I'm mainly talking to you, Paul Wayne.
Nice? To the intern? I don't know, Bruce. Kid's a bigger dweeb than Urkel.
Listen, just do your best. Treat the kid, Brett, with some respect, all right? All right, y'all have a good show.
All right, Bruce. We'll be seeing you. Well, I guess the pills didn't work for the young one.
Doesn't sound like it. Ooh, here it
Hey, buddy.
goes. Hey, little man.
What's going on?
Oh, just ready to have a good show with you, teammate.
Hey, little man.
Okay, well, we're about to go.
All right, well, ready when you are, big dude.
All right, 10 seconds.
You're listening to The First Down with Dwayne and Paul Wayne on QWIL, The Quill.
Welcome, folks. It is time for the first down here on QWIL The Quill. I am, of course, Dwayne Applebottom.
And I'm Paul Wayne Teague.
And buckle up, folks, because we got a lot to cover today. As you may know, your Porcupines are now 5-1 after last Friday night's win over the Lugerville Cougars. Final box score was Paultom City 44, Lugerville 17. How do you feel about that, Paul Wayne?
I couldn't be better, Dwayne. The boys played great, and it's looking more and more like we could go all the way this year.
Yes, sir. State's starting to peek its head around the corner, is it not?
Yeah. There were plenty of Lugerville fans that showed up this week to the Den. As you know, they always travel well, and I'm glad they did because they got front row seats to see the Pines stomp a new mud hole.
Yeah, and speaking of mud holes, our sponsor for this segment is Cecil Septic Yard. If you're noticing issues with your plumbing, inside, outside, don't matter, give Cecil's a call. They've been filling up the fine folks at Paultom septic tank needs for 3 generations, and that's no crap. They take care of all of us here at the station. In fact, I actually got a new tank from Cecil installed a few months back, and my plumbing has never worked better. It works so good, in fact, that Paul Wayne is now allowed to use the restrooms in my house again.
And I just want to thank Cecil's for that.
Yeah, so get on over to Cecil Septic Yard and mention the first down and get 10% off your install. All right, now back to that stomping, Paul Wayne.
Yeah, the offense was stellar last Friday. Rod Gonzalez returned from his unjustified suspension, and that pumped up the team in a way that really translated the effort onto the field.
Yeah, and it is important to note, no grabbing of the unmentionables this game.
Yeah, not so much as a cup adjustment.
Not at all. The coaches were yelling hand check so much you'd have thought it was a movie night at a church camp, But as much as I hate it, no pelvic thrusts meant no flags. So, hey, you know what? Maybe we're in a new era.
Yeah, the jury's still out for me, but I tell you what I did enjoy. It was that touchdown from the starting kickoff returned by Mr. #Johnson himself.
Highlight of the night. Absolutely fantastic, And I usually don't like seeing starters taking returns, but when it turns into a 98-yard return, I can excuse it, That really set the tone for the game. And the energy in the stadium, it could have powered half the town.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better. After that first touchdown, the defense caused a 3-and-out. We got the ball right back, and the Pines punched another ticket to the end zone. This time was Creeder Sackrider with a 43-yard reception.
Yeah, the wideouts look great. Creeder Sackrider and Sax McHolton were zipping across the field all night. You love to see it. And Coach Strong was sneaking away a little bit from the wishbone with those play calls and kind of looked like they were dipping into their spring ball 7-on-7 work a little bit.
Yeah, they were expecting the razzle, but we gave them the dazzle.
Yeah, now, I will say this. The night wasn't all dazzle, unfortunately, as there was a big injury on the defensive side of the ball with Benny San Antonio. He took a slip on what we thought was a banana peel. Turns out that it was a silk scarf that was left over from the color guard's performance at halftime. That fall broke both of his wrists, and, it really put a damper on what, to that point, was a hell of a night.
Yeah, I was just about to bring that up there, Dwayne. My heart goes out to Benny and his family, and my hate goes to the color guard member who left the scarf on the field. It's amateur moves like that that get people hurt, and we witness it firsthand.
And secondhand, for that matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I also did get confirmation from the administration building that the student in question who left it has been expelled. So, hopefully, we won't have to worry about any repeats there. But let's get down to the other side of things here. I'm talking about the dadgum moment of the week. That was seared in my mind after this.
Dadgum!
Oh, yeah, that was real salt in the wound.
It was indeed. Now, what we're referencing was the poor display of sportsmanship from the Lugerville band, who played the Benny Hill theme whenever they showed the injury on the Jumbotron. Now, I'd expect this kind of display from the band of Cougarville, but Lugerville, just disgusting. Absolutely classless. And, I'm a band guy, Paul Wayne, but I was about ready to take that conductor's baton and shove it up where the sun don't shine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the Lugerville fans kept claiming it was done in retaliation for when the Porcupine Band played yakety sax shortly after their running back, Roger the Dodger Stansberry, tripped on a sprinkler on the field a few years ago. And, they claim that it cost them a shot at district, but I honestly have no recollection of that.
Yeah, you'd think a guy with the nickname Dodger could avoid a measly sprinkler, but
Yeah.
Who knows? All right. But did you know, Paul Wayne, that the Benny Hill theme and the yakety sax are the same song?
No kidding. Yeah, could have fooled me.
Right? Yeah.
Anyways, I hope Benny San Antonio recovers quick enough to return to the playoffs. He could turn out to be this team's Henry Rowan Gardner.
Yeah, what a season for the Cubs that was, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, well. In other sad news, a good friend and member of the community, Ned Startleby, was tragically struck by lightning while locking up his store last Sunday. And it kind of makes you wonder what he did to call down God's wrath on the Sabbath, right? But, as old football Jesus says, let he who's without sin throw the first flag. Ain't that right, Paul Wayne?
Yeah, it's a crying shame there, Dwayne. He was sent a divine startlegram from the Lord above, and without Ned's autocratic leadership, I'm not sure Ned's phosphate and soda shop can survive. Honestly, with Ned and Red Bartleby going up to that phosphate shop in the sky, Paultom's running pretty low on phosphate shop owners. Now we're just left with Ted Gargleby, owner of Gargleby's Shakes and Fates.
Yeah, and while we are staunch supporters of small businesses, you won't find us gargling on a Gargleby phosphate anytime soon, folks. That stuff is pure swill.
Yeah, sorry, Ted. Someone had to say it. Your phosphates are doo-doo water.
Yeah, sorry, Ted, but them's the breaks. Had to be said. Anyways, as Freddie Merck once said, the show must go on, so y'all get to lighten up those phones because it is time for the Catfish O'Holy's Opine line. Give us a call, and let's hear what you have to say about the game. So y'all hold on tight. We'll be right back.
Hey everybody, this is Ted Gargleby III, owner of Gargleby's Shakes and Fates. Look, here's the deal. I just want to say that I have no interest in this business. I inherited it from my dad, and shortly after that, he fell into the shark tank at the Paultom City Zoo. I don't even like the slogan, we gargle up the competition. Or that we offer shark fin soup from our kitchen. Imagine having to be reminded of your father's death every day, all against the better judgment of the FDA and every conservation organization in the Western Hemisphere. Or that it's only served because your father had a clause in his contract to avenge his death. In order to stay in the will, you had to exact revenge on sharks. Not the ones that ate him, sharks in general. Look, if you want a shake or a fate, be my guest, but I have no interest in being the top phosphate shop in town. So come on down to Gargleby's Shakes and Fates. Or not. It's your call. Located on Phosphate Row next to the closed Red's Phosphate and the abandoned Ned's Phosphates Shakes and Bakes, next to Cecil's Septic Yard. Gargleby's Shakes and Fates. We gargle up the you get it.
Fire up those phones. It's time for the Opine Line with Dwayne and Paul Wayne.
Welcome back, folks, to QWIL The Quill. You are, of course, listening to Dwayne and Paul Wayne here on the First Down. And it is time for the most famous radio segment in W.H. Nelson County. That is, of course, the Catfish O'Holy's Opine Line.
Now, this week, I'll be picking the callers, no Ron Dane, no ex-wives, and for the love of God, no tuggers from Boat. All right, let's move on. Looks like our first caller here is Claudette from Paultom.
All right, Claudette from Paultom City. Welcome to the First Down. What's your opine?
Well, I'll tell you my opine. I think expelling that girl from the color guard for an honest mistake is deplorable. Anyone could have left a scarf on the field. The school should be ashamed of themselves, and so should you two. This is a gross miscarriage of justice.
Ma'am, I say this with all due respect. Get bent.
How dare you?
Yeah, no, I'll tell you the truth, ma'am. In my opinion, the school didn't go far enough, all right? The San Antonio family should have pressed charges for attempted negligent homicide.
Yeah, and on top of that, only one of my ex-wives was a member of the color guard, so forgive me if I don't have any sympathy for those flag-waving, scarf-tossing, fake rifle-swinging hussies. Goodbye, Claudette. Go choke on a phosphate at Gargleby's.
All right, who do we have next, Paul Wayne?
Well, Dwayne, I'm about to break my own rule because you won't believe who just called in.
Oh, please enlighten us, compadre.
Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce to you for the first time on our airwaves the repulsive, the disgusting, the STD-ridden coach of the Boat Tuggers, Coach Teague Winkler.
Oh, really?
Well, thanks for the kind introduction there, Paul Wayne. It's a pleasure being on the show with you boys. Not nearly as pleasurable as beating Paultom or detailing my Skeeter Bass boat, but a pleasure nonetheless.
All right, Tag. Now, this is a family-friendly show. Let's keep it that way, okay? Now, since this is the Opine Line, I am obligated to ask, what's your opine?
Well, actually, I wanted to get the boat leaf of Paul Wayne on something. Paul Wayne, I can't decide what would look better on my wall, my 3 district banners or a tasteful semi-nude fat head of my new wife, Kathy.
Now go tug yourself, Tag.
Whoa, okay. Look, luckily for us, that is the slogan of Boat, so we're clear to say that. But come on, boys, let's dial it back, all right? Let's ease up here, all right? Now, Tag, if you're just here to cause trouble, we're going to drop this call. Now, you got a real opine or not?
Look, I'm going to make this real simple for you punks. I have all the respect for Coach Strong and none for you. To be honest, I'm surprised a coach of his caliber is even wasting his time in a dump like Paultom City. Anyways, my boat leaf is that Coach Strong ought to quit after we beat y'all for the 4th time in a row this season. Take his talents to a town that has more to offer than a radio show that advertises septic tank services.
Speaking of that, how have the Preparation 8 treatments been treating you lately?
Yeah, Tag, I may have misheard this, but do you still get tucked in or not?
Listen, I don't need your airtime for your fans to know you two suck. They can hear that themselves. Also, I don't need Paul Wayne sending me dog crap in a Tiff Streets box every week.
And don't act like you didn't need it.
Look, I've got to get to practice. These boys are ready to defend their golden showerhead this year. But to quote one of my idols, Mr. Papa John Schnatter, stay tuned. A reckoning is coming. Come November 18th, the Tuggers are going to put the porcupines in their place, just like Gomer 5.
Oh, my God.
Don't worry, guys. I cut that call.
You did what?
Why would you do that? I was just about to go in.
I had my play call wristband full of insults ready to go.
Damn, kid. All right, we'll deal with you later.
You got that right.
I knew Tag had to be involved with Gomer 5, that snake.
Sheriff Dinkin, if you're listening, that's all the proof you need. It is time for a mob.
Okay, hey, let's not go mobbing yet, okay? We can't sink to their level. Hold on all mobs until we confirm they have Gomer 5, folks. Let's just put a hold on that. Damn. Why do you have to bring up the golden showerhead, too?
Yeah, our boys haven't beat Boat in years and are probably dying for their golden showers. I'd love to hand Tag Winkler old Rusty.
Guys, I just got this note from the athletic department.
Let me see that. Oh, Oh, no. Oh, boy. Folks, we have a little bit of breaking news for you here. I have just received word that Coach Strong is questionable for the upcoming game versus Cougarville as he is displaying mild cold symptoms. Lucky for us, we got the team doctor joining us for the next segment, Dr. Larry Pumpernickel, so we're going to pick his brain on this a little bit. So stick around. We'll be right back after this on the First Down.
Yo, didn't mean to scare you. It's just me, Don, from Don's dealership. Hey, I know my dad used to keep a tight lip around here, but things are different now. I'll buy your car for more money than you can find on the streets, and that's the Don's guarantee. Take it, or you'll leave it. We'll smack the MSRP lower than your FACE. We've got the new 2023 Pontiacs and Oldsmobiles sold through Don's exclusively. Looking for a family car? I've got Principal Sanders' 2019 Buick, Caravan Edition. Only 2 people in the county ever own this luxury. I'll let you guess who. You can be the 3rd. So come on down to Don's dealership. Don't make us come to you.
Now, back to Paultom City's dynamic duo, Dwayne and Paul Wayne.
Welcome back, folks. You're listening to the First Down with Dwayne and Paul Wayne, and it has been an eventful show, to say the least.
Yep.
It's about to get a little bit more compelling. I mean, if you missed us for that last segment, we had just found out that Coach Strong has come down with a little case of the sniffles. And thankfully, we have got Dr. Larry Pumpernickel, our team doctor, here in studio. Now, Larry, originally we brought you in to talk about Benny San Antonio, but with recent developments, we'd also like to take a deep dive into the health and status of Coach Strong.
Yeah, big fan over here, Dr. Larry. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, boys, for having me on. Really appreciate the time.
Now, Larry, remind me, and I'm going to try to go through this again, so make sure I get this correct here. Before you joined the team as a team doctor, you were actually the vet for the Paultom Consolidated Rodeo Team and 4-H Club. Did I get that right?
That's correct. I first ran into Coach Strong a few years back when he wanted to improve the players' tackling form in fall camp. So he sent his linebackers over to work with our steer wrestlers on the rodeo team, toughen those boys right up. They must have wrestled 100 steers to the ground in that fall camp.
You know, I love a coach that thinks outside the box like that.
Amen. You just don't see that kind of innovation these days, you know?
Now, those boys got pretty bunged up, and I happened to be on site to stitch them up when they'd catch the wrong end of the cow. Coach Strong admired my handiwork, and, well, the rest is history.
Now, I got to ask, Larry, is there a special vet license to work on both animals and humans?
Well, that depends, Paul Wayne. Are you a cop?
Nope.
Then yes, there is.
Hey, that's all we need to know. All right. Now, Larry, regarding Coach Strong, obviously this is a brand new diagnosis, and I'm going to assume that you haven't had a chance to examine him just yet. But in your medical opinion, how do you detect if someone is showing cold symptoms, and what's a good way to get over it?
Well, I usually recommend you check their noses for wetness. If you do indeed start showing symptoms, you'll want to get some rest, obviously. You want to stay hydrated. And if you're a caretaker, maybe ask the person you're caring for is a good boy or a good girl. And, of course, you want to monitor temperature.
Sound advice if I ever heard some. And what's the best way to check someone's temperature?
Well, you know, old way's the best way. There ain't no better way than good old mercury, as I always recommend, that you first coat the thermometer with a lubricant, such as petroleum gel or baby oil. Next, gently insert the thermometer about 1 inch into the anus and wait for results.
Now, Larry, that sounds a tad extreme.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dwayne. I didn't know you went to med school. Tell me, doctor, how do you take your temperature?
Well, I normally take it in my mouth.
Okay, Tart. You see, temperature readings in the mouth are at least 2 to 3 degrees off 80% of the time. Trust me, boys, anuses don't lie.
The anus?
All right, then. Now moving on. How do you as a doctor deal with broken limbs, Larry? You know, with Benny San Antonio out with 2 broken wrists, I got to know, do you think that he can make it back on the field for the playoffs?
Well, with most injuries on the team, I always have the same course of action. Salt tablets. Give a kid enough salt and he'll heal right up. Builds character and helps with electrolytes. Now, if that doesn't work, and with broken bones, it usually don't, I always ask the parents the same thing I ask my clients at the vet clinic. Number 1, how old is the patient? Number 2, how much do you love them? And number 3, how much are you willing to spend on them? And I'll tailor my treatment from there.
And I got to know, how did Benny San Antonio's parents react to that?
Oh, well, they paid cash, so we gave him a horse tranquilizer, wrapped both hands up in the clinic, and sent him on his way. He'll start next week. He'll just be fully clubbed up. Kid looks like Mega Man, but Coach Strong and I are confident he can still bat some balls down out there. The brakes missed the growth plate on both wrists, so he should have full range of motion by the time state rolls around. We also put a cone on him, keep him from accidentally hitting his face, swallowing the horse tranquilizer. Helmet's a benefit.
Damn, what a trooper that kid is, you know? You just can't keep our boys off the field.
Nope.
That's what I'm here for, keeping those boys happy and healthy.
Now, do you think something like a cold will sideline Coach Strong?
Oh, hell no. I got enough salt tablets to keep Coach Strong on the sideline for 20 years. He'll be just fine. I've also got some experimental Mexican dog stimulants I can give him if things take a turn for the worse, so I'm not worried.
Larry, is that something cleared by the UIL?
That all depends, Paul Wayne. You work for the UIL?
No, sir.
Then, yep, sure is.
All right, folks, let's go ahead and wind this segment down. What do we say?
Yeah.
Dr. Larry Pumpernickel, we appreciate your time as always. You keep on keeping those boys in playing shape.
Thanks again for the time, boys. And just a quick shout out to the listeners. I'll be doing my annual half-off spays and neuters at halftime during this week's game, so y'all be sure to come find me in the parking lot.
Yeah, everyone out there in Pine Nation, let's all do our part to help control the pet population.
Who said anything about pets?
That's right. Every snip counts. All right, folks, that's going to wrap it up for the first down on QWIL The Quill. Before I go, I do have a quick update on Gomer 5. Now, I know that there were some rumors floating around of a Gomer sighting at the Stuff and Save Discount Taxidermy, but I can confirm that ain't him. All right, that ain't him. That's just the mounted body of Gomer the First. All right, they were bringing him out for his annual cleaning before they put him on display at the administration building for homecoming. So, false alarm, everybody. False alarm.
Yeah, but just everyone out there, make sure to keep a sharp eye out there. The investigation is ongoing, and we believe Gomer's still out there, and we want him back.
That's right. That's right. We do. So y'all be sure to join us this Friday as we try to complete the Lugerville Cougarville Double Dutch Sweep. We'll be back at the Den taking on the Cougarville Lugers. Kickoff is at 7:30, and it's also tractor night, so be sure to stick around after the game for the annual tractor pull.
Yeah, and I'll be playing a set with my Kenny Chesney cover band, the Sexy Tractors. So y'all come out and see us.
Yeah, I know I'll be front and center for that. That's a guarantee. So, all right, that'll do it for us. Bye for now, folks. As always, I'm Dwayne Applebottom.
I'm Paul Wayne Teague.
Go Pines.
The official broadcast partner of Paultom City Consolidated Athletics, QWIL, The Quill.